Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's about 10 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. This is the Memorial Day weekend. So, for those of you who are traveling for Memorial Day to see your families, drive safe, have a great weekend. Don't spend too much time in the markets, but for those of you who are watching, let's go through the BTC analysis real quick. Price is currently at 8,055. Still, again, guys, floating sideways. Really, nothing has changed. And I expect this sort of non-volatility to play out through the weekend, at least till Sunday or Monday. And then Tuesday, I think we're going to see a decent amount of movement, possibly. One of the reasons I actually explained in our community right here is there's a large volume of CME contracts that are ending at the end of this month, as you can see right there, May 19th, or I'm sorry, May 2019. These usually end at the end of the month. There's open interest here at around 2,700 contracts, and remember, each BTC is about, or I'm sorry, each contract is about 5 BTC. Okay, so that means that this is about close to 13 or 14,000 BTC that could potentially be rolled over into the next June contract right here. And I don't know if you remember, but last month we actually saw, in April actually, we saw the highest volume in CME futures trading for Bitcoin, higher than even the start of the futures trading in 2017 bull market. Okay, so this is a very positive sign. In my opinion, I think these futures contracts are more long than short. I'll have to look at the commitment of traders data, which usually comes out every Friday. It's on the CFTC website, so we'll go check that out. But as far as I can see, these contracts, at least for May, definitely hit the long targets, and I would not be surprised if in June they hit the long targets again, because like most traders, you try to follow the trend. As you very well know the phrase, the trend is your friend till the end. Till the end is, that interesting part of the phrase, which implies that, yeah, it'll be a trend till it eventually ends, right? But for now, this trend is essentially shaping up. I still don't see any signs of pullback just yet. I don't see any structural issues where prices are going to collapse. We're actually technically in this big symmetrical triangle, as you can see. The high volume nodes on the VPVR right here show you that this is really the bigger resistance block right here. Maybe on the daily it might be right around like 8,300 as well. Yeah, see this area right here, 8,200. But beyond that, once we sort of start moving up, let me see how we can draw this out. There we go. So the volume profile actually moves, with the amount of price that's available and visible. And you can see now that the bigger blocks are also in this area, but beyond that, we don't see anything really in the way in terms of, big resistance at the very least till, say, this 10,000 or 11,000 block. Okay, it sort of decreases. I mean, obviously there's some in the way right there, but it decreases, and so price can push through this area a little bit easier, at least till, say 11,000 or so. Okay, so do keep that in mind. Now, if we start going back to the smaller time frame, like the 4-hour chart, right? I'm going to close off this volume profile, and I wanted to simply look at the symmetrical triangle. Okay, and in the symmetrical triangle, you can also sort of look at this as, a big bull flag. Okay, this is really what's happening. If you want to draw the flag from here, or if you want to draw the flag from, say, this bottom right here, because, this is where the run accelerated. Either way, if you sort of take this target into account, which is about 5,800 to, let's just say about 8,000. So that's about, a $2,200 move. From here, $2,200 is about 10,200 or so, right? So you can see clearly that whether it's a bull flag or a symmetrical triangle, and again, symmetrical triangles, let's look at what a symmetrical triangle is, okay? It can be any direction leading to the chart pattern, okay? This is from the Bulkowski website, one of the more famous traders, right? Bulkowski Symmetrical Triangles. If you haven't read this book, Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Thomas and Bulkowski, please go check it out. Really fantastic book. You can see that over here, price trend can be any direction leading to the chart pattern. So you tell me, where does this chart pattern, where does a price lead into this symmetrical triangle? It's up, right? If it was down, this symmetrical triangle would have a higher propensity of breaking down. But because price has led up to it, into it from the downside to the upside, this means that this has a higher chance of breaking up. Now, how much higher can it break? Well, first of all, it has a upward chance of breaking 70 or 60% of the time and 73% of the way into the triangle apex. Okay, so if you look at this entire triangle, we are well into about 73% of the way. Okay, so usually, BTC tends to go very close to the apex and then essentially try to break out, because there's usually a lot more consolidation that needs to happen, because this market is not as liquid. It's not as well known to most market algos or most smart traders, where they realize that, okay, when it's creating this sort of symmetrical triangle, halfway or 60% of the way into it, this is enough confirmation. This will sort of break upward and sort of drive the prices up due to the bulls. So this is why you have more contraction in this range, and then eventually you'll see a breakout kind of like this. And if you watch my video from yesterday, I stated on the smaller time frames that this is exactly what's going to happen, guys. Price is going to go up like this, probably hit this area, pull back, and then start ripping on through. Okay, go check out my video yesterday. I mentioned this is exactly what's going to happen. It's not because I'm trying to predict with a crystal ball or anything. This is usually how these patterns play out, first of all, and also when you typically hit resistance and you're trying to break through it. At first, you'll obviously face a bit of strong selling, and so prices pull back, but this is where the bulls pick up all of the supply and then try to drive the prices higher. Okay, now clearly with this descending trend line, there's a lot of sellers waiting right here. People are refusing to let go of their positions as bears, but the bulls are just too strong. They're eventually going to drive this thing out of this symmetrical triangle to the upside, targeting potentially that 10,000, 12,000 range. All right. Okay. I want to check out something else over here. So you can see that LTC had a really big move yesterday. It went from 90 to $100 fairly fast. I closed out some of my position yesterday in LTC. Where was it? LTC hit our first target point at $100. So yeah, that was like a 9% gain. Really nice gain on that. So, and I'm still holding my other position in. Again, if you're not part of the Cryptosomniac community, please do come join. I have this kind of updates through the day, exactly what I'm doing, where our current P&L is, my targets, stops, what I'm doubling down on, etc. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. I also mentioned another trade that I'm looking at, ETC/USD. You can see this beautiful cup and handle right here that's playing out. Again, if you're watching this as a free YouTuber, do your due diligence, but I think you have a pretty good pattern that's about to play out right there. And you can see that the price target of that pattern is typically the depth of the cup. So in this case, it would probably have to be about $10 to $11. So I stated the target around 10.6, 10.7. Okay, so that's a nice 30-40% gain. All right, keep that in mind. Okay, and then I also stated that I doubled down on waves. So waves is a really good trade that's in my opinion, that's going to play out over the next week or two. So just food for thought. Something you guys want to, if if you want to have analysis like this, I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but if you want good analysis like this, Cryptosomniac.com, products, advantage, guys. It's that simple. Okay. All right. Back to the daily chart on BTC. Again, in the daily as well, you see a big symmetrical triangle playing out. Nothing in terms of price action tells me that the bulls are letting up. You can see after this low, we created another higher low, and we've now had 3 straight bullish days so far. I expect a little bit of resistance right here, but nothing significant. At the very worst scenario, we'll hit, the top of this triangle right here. I'm sorry, the bottom of this triangle right here, the trend line, and then bounce off and up. But I doubt it. I think, the bulls are going to have enough pressure where prices are just going to rip on through. Okay. I did want to talk about ETH BTC. ETH is one of my big trades in the community. As you can see, I have about 17.5% of my trading capital. But if you're trading solely to accumulate BTC, in most alts, you're not going to have a good time doing that. Why? Because for the most part, BTC is actually moving at a stronger pace than most altcoins, even Ethereum. Okay. And what that does is it sort of cripples the ability for ETH to lead the way against BTC US dollar, right? So the reason why we see high price, high values right here is because, at one point, one Ethereum was worth about 0.14 of one BTC, right? So for example, if BTC was $10,000, Ethereum was about $1,400, right? So you can see how that's 14% essentially of Bitcoin, but now it's become close to 3%, as you can see right there. Okay, so each Ethereum is about 3% of one Bitcoin, and I don't think that this trend is going to change. I think Bitcoin is trying to show its dominance, and Bitcoin's dominance is currently, I think, 53 or 54%, and this right here is a clear definition of a descending triangle, lower highs being targeted, this support being hit every time, and each time it's hit, the support has gotten weaker. As you can see, over here we had a strong bounce, over here we had a weaker bounce, and over here really a dismal bounce. Okay, so at some point I expect this to break. So ETH BTC value is going to go down, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Ethereum US dollars going to go down. It just means that one Ethereum will be worth less in terms of the ratio of BTC. Okay, so just wanted to point something like this out. Do be careful on this. Okay, all right. Again, bull flag targets still all the way into that 12,000 region. I still maintain my position, and I don't think that we are looking bad by any stretch of the imagination. I don't really know how people could say we're bearish right now. We're basically putting a bull flag literally on the above the 365-day moving average. Okay, and this is a chart that I mocked up here. Actually, where's the other? Let me show you guys this chart over here. Okay. Man, I have so many charts, I can't even keep up with it. Not that one. Maybe it's this one. Not even that one. Maybe it is this. Yeah, it is this. Okay, there we go. Here's a 365-day moving average. You're basically creating a bull flag above the 365-day moving average. You're going to have a bit of consolidation right here. I stated that, oftentimes you'll see in the equity markets, there's going to be a sideways movement for a good week or two, or 4 to 8 weeks, excuse me. Let me see where I put that exactly. It's a perfect example of, showing exactly how this pennant essentially gets created above some significant moving average levels. And the reason why that happens is, see something like this. Here's the JP Morgan Chase chart. You can see once the 200 moving average got broken to the upside, you saw consolidation for, since March all the way into, close to mid-April right here. Okay, so about 6 weeks on JP Morgan, and then prices took off. Okay, so usually you create a flag or consolidation like this for a couple, at least 4 to 6 weeks, and then you start seeing a break to the upside. And that's sort of exactly what I'm proposing in the chart that I just showed you earlier. Right here is that we're going to see a bit of consolidation in this region right here, and then we're sort of going to rip on through. Okay. I think with the CME futures trying to be rolled over in the next few days, because remember, most traders don't wait till the day of the expiration, which is May 31st, to roll over their contracts. They usually do it days before, or maybe even a week or two before, to be able to catch a good position for the next monthly contract. And so I would say, because May 31st is essentially next week, these contracts, the open interest, I expect to be rolled over in the next coming few days. Okay, and I think that'll be providing some interesting volatility in the market. All right, this is where I think this bull flag will finally have the strength to sort of break out. Okay, but again, I still do remain positive in my targets around 10-12k. I'm gonna check out, let's see, Ethereum is another one that I want to show you real quick, because I think Ethereum is essentially doing the same thing. Here's Ethereum right here, creating that big bull flag, symmetrical triangle. For Ethereum, that target sort of becomes, if we just took a symmetrical triangle target from this bottom, which is 220, to this top right here, that's about a $60 move. So from, if we broke out from here, a $60 move would take us to almost $300 to $310. If we took the bull flag of this right here, from say this bottom of 185 to say 280 or so, so that's $100. So from here, $100 up is about 350 or so. Okay, so there's two different targets at play: 310 and then 350 to like say 395, $400, due to the fact that we have some resistance in this area right here. Okay, this was previous support in this region, but then eventually finally just ripped on through. Okay, so lots of different targets for you to look at, but for the most part, I still do think that ETH is going to break up along with BTC. Some other things that I want to point out is, there's other people mentioning our community. As you can see, crypto creators that didn't slow down, in the down markets of 2018, right there, and we're listed right there. Okay, so we've been doing this for a while, guys. Bull or bear market, we're not just here in the bull markets that start spewing out crazy high prices. We are also here during the entire bear market, helping people make the right decisions. So if you are looking to learn about how to trade, looking to understand technicals, have deep analysis like this every single day with videos like you're watching right now, this is the community to join. Okay, Cryptosomniac.com. But that's all I have, folks. Trades are still going well, in my opinion. I still have open positions in Ethereum, Litecoin, BCH, BNB, and Waves. Okay, Waves I think is a really good chart, so do check it out. Not saying a buy or sell, but I personally think that it's going to have a nice move over the coming days, and that's why I've sort of stuck into it. It bounced off this little OB right here. Let me show you guys on the smaller time frame. This little block right here, which eventually led up to this big rise, it bounced off perfectly off this region, and had a bit of a accumulation sideways period right here, and now I think it's going to start moving on up again. So I think this is going to be a beautiful run over the next week or two. So if you're watching this right now, not saying that it's a buy or sell signal, but this might be the chart you want to consider. So do go check it out. All right, that's it, folks. Cryptosomniac.com. Get advantage. Come join our community. Very active community, and really awesome people. All right, cheers, everyone. Take care.